the street. And what I'd like to do today is introduce you to a form of music that dates back to 18th century America, but migrated to and really continues to thrive in the South. All right. Anybody have any trouble hearing me? All right. Well, I might not need this. Sorry. Yeah. Well, we should definitely probably fill in the square, and maybe we'll talk about that in a moment. And primarily, where is it prominent in the South? In Georgia, Alabama, North Carolina, and South Carolina to some extent. We've got some folks from Savannah today here who've come up to help us demonstrate this music to you. We've got Gene Pinion here, and Frank DeBolt, Don Lobs, thank you, John Gentry, and Roxanna Lester, and did I miss anybody? All right, and Margaret is back here. All right, so we're very grateful that they've come down to help us today, and particularly Gene bringing all these books. There's still a few, if you don't have a book, there's still a few loaner books in a couple boxes at the back there in that table, and a handout that might be of help to you as well. Before we get started singing, let me just say, traditionally this music is not for performance. We sing it for and to each other around the hollow square that you see around here. And so the four sides of the hollow square correspond to the four parts of the music. So let me just sort of explain that briefly. So the highest part, the treble part, is over here, and both men and women can sing the treble part, usually men an octave down below the women. The lower female voice, if you have a lower female voice, the alto section is over here. You might want to sit over there. The lowest male voice is in the bass section over here. And the tenor section is on this side of the square. Both men and women sing the tenor line, usually women an octave higher than the men. And so, let's see. I'm trying to think if I check my notes if I'm forgetting anything. One thing, although every part has equal importance in shape note music, the tenor part is the melody. Usually the main melody of the song is in the tenor part. So this is quite a popular section to sit in here because you get to sing the melody. That's why I like being a tenor here. Okay, so what is shape note music, and why do we use these funny notes? Well, in the sort of around by about 1700 in Protestant churches in England and in America, the state of congregational singing was sort of at a low ebb, and it was thought that there should be some way of improving how congregations sing. Not choirs, not the church choir, but everybody else in the congregation. And so a system was devised whereby you go through and learn the melody of your part before you learn the words, sort of like giving an extra pass. And what they did was sing certain syllables along those notes, which are just the ones that, everybody's seen The Sound of Music, right? Okay, you know the do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. Well, that was an Italian-based system, and the English wouldn't have any of that. So they came up with their own system, which goes fa, sol, la, mi, fa. So it only uses four syllables, fa, sol, la, and mi. Has to reuse those fa, sol, la's, and this is sometimes called fa, sol, la music. Now, by about 1800, leading up to, in the 18th century in America, there was this singing school movement whereby singing instructors go around to towns in New England and stay for a week and teach congregational singing using this fa, sol, la system. By about 1800, two Americans, Little and Smith, published a tune book, which for the first time used shapes that were linked with the syllables. And so now for all those four syllables, fa, sol, la, and mi, there were four shapes that were printed with the music. So you knew from the shape of the note which syllable you were supposed to sing when you were just practicing the melody. And so, without further ado, let's try singing a major scale using these shapes. Now, the 4 shapes we use are fa, that looks like a triangle, like this. So think about a flag, like a pennant. So, like the sun. La, like the letter L, like a square. And me, what does Rich DeLong say? He says, it's me because you think of yourself and you are the diamond. Yeah, I don't know about that. Anyway, so the 4 shapes again are fa is a triangle, so is a circle, la is a rectangle or a square, and me is a diamond. And you can either follow along the major scale here on the board here, or there's also scales on page 18 in that red book that many of you have. And again, there are some more red books in the boxes at the back of the room. So let's try singing a major scale. So we'll start on this note. Fa, fa, sol, la, fa, sol, la, mi, fa. Come down. Fa, mi, la, sol, fa, la, sol, fa. Now, one thing you may notice if you're musically trained is that I did not sing. This is actually written as if it's an F major scale. We did not sing an F major scale. In shakedown music, we just use keys of convenience, which I mean that we just choose a pitch to sing a song at that's convenient for us because we never sing with instruments. Okay, so often the music is printed in this book so that it fits nicely on the staff. That's why I chose an F scale to avoid ledger lines notes that are below or above the staff. So the key you see on the page is not necessarily the key you sing the song in. And often it depends on the time of day and how energetic people feel, how high you're going to pitch that song. Okay, well, let's do that again. I think I'm going to lower. What do you think? We're going to lower the pitch. I'll sing a little bit of fa, sol, la, fa, sol, la, mi, fa, fa, mi, la, sol, la, sol, fa. All right, very good. So what I thought I'd do is take you through a few songs in this tune book, The Sacred Harp. The Sacred Harp, by the way, was published in about 1844 by 2 Georgians, B.F. White and E.J. King. It's gone through editions in many hands since then, but right now it's probably the most frequently used shaken-up tune book in the United States. And any weekend you can find singings all across America using this book. There are about, this is the 1991 edition, and there are roughly 600 songs in this book. So what I thought we'd do was kind of sample a little bit from this musical feast we have here. Now, I thought we'd start with a couple tunes that just about everybody should know.
Why don't you bring them into the squares?
Why don't we bring them to the squares? Well, let's do that. Let's do that a little bit later. One of the best places to hear the sacred harp music is when you're sitting in the middle of the hollow. You're standing in the middle of the hollow square. Oh, you mean like bring people out? Oh, I see us. All right, Mr. Sit down. So we might all. So I think Don's a good point. We might all hear each other better singing. We all have to sort of hear each other if you kind of try to move up so we're all sitting around.
Pick what voice you want to sing. High, low, medium.
Yes, again, the low male voices are here in the bass section. Higher male voices and females in this section, the tenor section. Highest female voice and some men are in the treble section here. And the lower female voice are the altos behind here.
Sorry about you, Gene.
That's all right.
Gene's kind of used to this.
Someone will arrive.
Maybe so.
We can hear him.
No, he's trouble. He's very high. He's the bassist.
Okay, so let's turn to page 49 in this book, on the top, there's a tune called Old Hundred. This is page 49 on the top. And y'all should probably be familiar with this tune as the doxology in many churches. I'd like to start off now. Remember that in this music, the melody is in the third line, so the third line down. The top line will be sung by the trebles or treble. The second line will be sung by the altos. Now the tenors sing that third line down, 1, 2, 3 down. The one that in this case has words just printed right above it. And that's the melody y'all probably have heard as a doxology. And of course the basses are going to sing the bottom line. But let's start with everybody. Let's start with everybody singing that third line down. Okay? How should we pitch this?
So la fa.
So that's the first note will be fa. Fa, fa, mi, la, so, fa, so, la, 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 so, fa, fa, la, so. Now, you're probably wondering what I'm doing. Oh, by the way, you just come in. There's books at the back. You can follow along. We're going to sing some music out of this.
You girls come up here and sit with me. I'm very lonely.
Yes, we've got a man who's very lonely here, and he's looking for someone who can sing a higher female voice, treble voice, soprano. We have one right here. Excellent. All right. Okay, now you may be wondering what's going on with this going up and down with the hands. That's called beating time, and the leader and anybody else who cares to can beat time to set the tempo of the music. The way it goes with songs like this, where it's 2 beats to the bar, or often where there's 4/4 songs, is that the downbeat when one's arms goes down is the beginning of the bar, as in fa, fa, mi, la, so, fa, so, la, and so on. So y'all can, if you care to, you can wave your arms in a meaningful manner. Let's see, and when, as in the case with this song, when our first note is at the end of the previous bar, when the arm goes up, the arm of the leader goes up, that's when you start singing, oh, come, etc. Okay, so what I thought we'd do is maybe sing through that line one more time. Does anybody have any questions? Okay, I thought we'd sing through that line one more time, and then we take it apart and look at some of the other parts of this piece. Again, this is on page 49 on the top, Old Hundred. All right. Fa, 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 mi, la, so, fa, so, la, 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 so, fa, fa, la, so, fa, so, la, so, fa, la, mi, fa, so, la, fa, so, fa, la, so, fa. All right, now let's look at the part that's being sung by these fine gentlemen over here. The bass part, the bottom line for this piece. All right, so let's all sing this bottom line. It's going to start on the same fa. And if it gets too low for you, just sing an octave higher or drop out as you need to. Don't worry too much about it. We just want to practice these shapes. Fa, fa, so, la, so, la, so, fa. Fa, 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 so, top line, the treble part. We'll try it on the same beginning. Fa,
Fa, la, sol, fa, mi, la, mi, fa. Sol, sol, la, fa, mi, fa, la, fa, sol. La, sol, fa, mi, sol, fa, la, sol, la. La, sol, fa, mi, la, fa, mi, fa.
All right, y'all are sounding great. Let's try the alto part, the second line down from the part just above those words. And that starts in a so, a different note.
Sol, fa, sol, fa, sol, la, sol, sol. Sol, fa, la, mi, la, sol, la, sol, sol. La, mi, sol, sol, fa, la, sol, sol. Fa, sol, la, mi, fa, sol, la, sol, sol, la.
That's excellent. Well, let's now try putting all four parts together. All right, so let's see. So we're going to start on that fa, and that'll be the first note for the tenors, and for the trebles, and for the basses. While the altos will start on so, so. So, and now for a treat, we're going to sing the words.
Oh, come loud anthems, let us sing. Loud thanks to our Almighty King. For we our voices high should raise. When our salvation's brought we praise.
All right, now notice the third word of this hymn is loud. One thing you'll find if you go to a Sacred Harp singing is that everybody's singing at the top of their voices. And that's the thing is, the louder you sing, the more fun it gets. Now, by the way, we are going to have a little break about, probably halfway through our stretch here. So, right. So I thought maybe we go to another tune in this book that should be, again, familiar to you all. It's on page 45 on the top. Now, this tune is called New Britain. That's really the name of the tune, not the words. The words are, of course, the words of Amazing Grace. Again, this is on page 45 on the top. And I've been told that the immediate predecessor to this book, the Southern Harmony, was the first place where the words of Amazing Grace and the tune we all know came together. All right? The tune, of course, was around a little bit earlier. There's a little notation here that says Columbian Harmony up on the left that says that was the book where this tune first appeared, where this melody first appeared. And the words are by John Newton, famous anti-slavery advocate in late 18th century England. And it was in the shape note tradition this tune and these words first came together. Now, there's one different thing about Amazing Grace compared to the last song we sang, which was that this is in 3 beats to the bar. Of course, you all know this. 1, 3, 1, la, la, la. So one thing you'll notice about when I raise my hand is that when I raise my hand like this, the last beat of the previous bar, and then we go to the downbeat. That's the beginning of the next bar. But then there's an extra beat in the middle because it's 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. But otherwise, it's just the same. Otherwise, downbeat is we notice that this song again starts in the last beat of the bar. So you go 3, 1, 2, la, la, la. So that's what's going to go on with the hand. Of course, we all kind of always know this tune. So let's start with looking at the melody here. What should we pitch it at?
Sol, la, fa, sol.
Again, this is the third line down we're going to look at here.
Sol, fa, la, fa, la, sol, fa, la, sol, sol, fa, la, fa, la, sol, la, sol, sol, la, sol, la, sol, fa, la, sol, fa, la, sol, 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 fa.
Maybe look at some of the other parts and put together just like we did for Old 100 a few minutes ago. Let's start with the treble part, the top part here, all right, which will be sung by this section of people here, but we'll all sing it right now. All right, and that doesn't start on the so, it starts on the fa, fa, la, la, so. Tenor's fa, so. All right. Should we do the bass part again?
All right.
Mi fa
Would anyone like to go over the parts again? All right, and let's try putting them all four together. And again, we'll just sing the syllables here. All right, and we're still on.
Fa, sol.
All right, so tenors are going to sing that so, fa, the usual melody for music. Right? So, fa. Let's try singing that first verse. One word about repeats. As far as I know, repeats are not used. There are repeat signs in this song, but as far as I know, they're not usually used. I don't know.
It's the leader's discretion.
Yeah. Anytime there's repeat signs with some exceptions, exceptions to all rules, of course, it's the leader's discretion. And let's not do the repeat signs, but let's sing, since we worked so hard at this one, let's sing verses 1 and 3 and 5. So we'll start on verse 1. And our first notes again.
Fa, sol, la, sol, fa, sol. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me.
Let's see what else we have in store here. Let's try. Now, I mentioned the singing school movement in New England was the thing where itinerant singing teachers would go through each town and teach singing for a week or so and teach the congregation how to sing. In fact, if you look in the novels of Nathaniel Hawthorne, there's some characters who are itinerant singing masters, also one in Cold Mountain. I'll come back to that later. But one of the most prominent singing school people in New England was a guy named William Billings, who was entirely self-taught. He was a tanner by trade. He lived in Boston, but would go out to these communities in Massachusetts and Connecticut. And one of his songs I think we'd like to try now is on page 479. It's also in these handouts, but our book's a little bit more solid to take hold of. This is called Chester. Billings published many, many books of tunes. The first collection of his was called The Continental Harmony of 1770. I believe this appeared in that that collection of his compositions.
Was he American?
Oh yes, he was there. Yes.
What do the two, like the LM or CM abbreviations?
Those refer to the meter of the poetry. You'll also find that in more mainstream hymn books. Long meter is how many pairs of syllables there are per line. Like bum 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 is long meter. And also again, you can see the composer's name on the top left, and the words by Philip Doddridge a little bit earlier than Billings. All right, so let's see. Again, we probably should do a little bit of taking apart and looking at each part separately before we put them all together for this song, because it is less familiar, I would think. So, let's see, how should we pitch this?
Fa, sol, la, fa, sol, fa,
So, we have first note. So is the first note of the tenor part. Let's begin singing that third line down. So, la, mi, fa, sol, la, fa, mi, la, so. So, la, so, fa, la, so, fa, so. So, la, fa, so, la, mi, fa, so, la, mi, fa. Fa, mi, la, so, fa, so, la, so, so, fa, la, so, fa. Let's do that again, because some of the shapes are hard to get when you sing it, when you're trying to sing a little bit faster here. So let's do that again, okay? So, la, mi, fa, so, la, mi, la, so. So, la, so, fa, la, so, fa, so. So, la, so, la, mi, fa, so, la, mi, fa. Fa, mi, la, so, fa, la, so, fa, la, so, fa. I can't remember what you said before we started, John. Sort of like if you can't remember the fa's and la's and so's, just sing la, 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 and you'll be right.
You get 25%.
You'll get around 25% of the time. So, in case you just came in, there's books at the back of the boxes, and we are on page 479 of this book, The Sacred Heart.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. Let's look at the bass part next on the bottom line. Okay. One more time. Okay, for sure. Okay. Fa, fa, so, fa, 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 la, so, fa, so. Fa, 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 la, so, fa, fa, mi, la, so. Fa, 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 la, so, fa, so, fa. The alto part. I'll try not to leave you guys to the last like I did before. Fa, fa, sol, la, la, fa, fa, mi. Fa, fa, sol, la, fa, la, mi, fa, mi. Fa, fa, sol, la, fa, sol, la.
before we sing this treble part, just one note. Not that it really matters, but the next to the last note on the top line, the syllable is fee, not fa. But at this point, that's more information probably than anybody needs. But just
yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, that's an accidental. It's raised a little bit.
La 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 so fa la so fa la so la so fa la so fi so la fa so la fa so la mi la so
parts together. Just came in. There's books at the back. You can follow along. We're on page 479, looking at the song Chester by early American composer William Billings. Now we're going to sing all four parts, singing our shapes. All right, and our notes are...
If you have those books, please come more towards the front so you can participate with us.
Sure. And I want to point out where the parts are again.
All right, so yeah, it's just a few people coming. So the higher male voices are in the tenor section here, and also men and women can sing the tenor section too. The basses are over here, the lower male voice. The treble section, soprano, higher male voice, and higher female voices. The lower female voices here in the alto section. Yay, altos. Okay. All right, so, and we're going to try and sing all four parts in Chester here. And our pitch again is... So, that's the tenor section. Let's see both of these verses, and again our notes are fa, so for the tenors, let all thy hands your songs invite, these precious fields of brilliant light, where sun and moon and planets roll, and stars that glow from pole to pole. Sun, moon, and stars convey thy praise round the whole earth and never stand. So when thy truth began its race, it touched and blessed on every hand. Oh, that's excellent. That sounds so good. I have a little story to tell about this song in particular. Billings republished this tune in 1778 in something called a book called The Singing Master's Assistant, but with slightly different words. And the words in the new version were, let tyrants shake their iron rod, and slavery clank her galling chains. We fear them not, we trust in God. New England's God forever reigns. See, by then it was after the Revolution. He thought, oh, I can republish this as a patriotic song. And in fact, it goes. There's 5 verses here about Burgoyne and Howe and other generals of the other side. And I think for a while it was in the running for being a sort of at least an American national anthem for New England. Anyway.
Yeah, they have their own private God.
Yeah. Well, you know, it's like that joke about when they go to heaven and see this walled off place. That's what the comments are. They like to think they're only. Anyway, so let's see. So we've talked about William Billings. I think it's time we looked at the dark side of shakedown music, by which I mean just looking at music in the minor key. The shapes used for minor key music over here on this board here. I don't know if I should maybe move this so it's a little bit visible, but the shapes are the same. The shapes used are the same. All it is the same sequence of notes, but starting on La as the tonic note. So, the scale goes La, Mi, Fa, So, La, Fa, So, La. Okay, so the La is the starting on the minor key scale. So let's see. And again, whatever is written at here, we're not going to sing at that pitch. We just use pitches of convenience. So La, La, Mi, Fa, Sol, La, Fa, Sol, La, La, Sol, Fa, La, Sol, Fa, Mi, La. Let's do it another time. Okay. Is that too high, do you think?
Let's do it right now. Let's do it right now. The F is supposed to be sharp. I mean, you're supposed to half step.
Okay. So let's do this again.
Same key.
Let's do it slightly lower, maybe.
There were a few clankers in there.
So I'd like to try a minor key tune now. There are actually 2 that are kind of cool here near the beginning of the book. But let's start with one that's pretty close to just where the main melody is just pretty close to a scale. Okay, and that's on page 38 on the bottom. A tune called Wyndham. So on 38 bottom, by the way, this is by a contemporary of William Billings, Daniel Reed, another New England composer, wrote the music. On the other side, you see the words by Isaac Watts. Isaac Watts was a real, frequently used source of words in the Sacred Harp. Made metrical versions of the Psalms of David and so on. Okay, so can we use the same pitch? One word about this part again. There's one of these sharps or accidentals 2/3 of the way through the tune on a so note, a round note, and for that we'd sing C, just like when we had a Fa went up a half step and went pronounced as Fi. Okay, so let's start on this one. La, Fa, Sol, La. Mi, Fa, Sol, La. Let's go over that one more time. And what do you think? Maybe a little faster or slower? Anybody feel like doing it? Well, let's do it at the same time. Okay. La. That's your first note. Okay. La. Fa, sol, la. Let's look at that bass part first of all. Bottom line there. La. 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 Mi. Fa. About where you breathe. So, you kind of notice you don't get an opportunity to breathe in that whole part, so just breathe when you need to breathe for that part. Another part that has basically no rest at all is the treble part here. Come on up to the front, by the way. You can hear it all better. And, la, la. Page 38 bottom.
La
now let's sing verses 1 and 2. All right? La, la, la. Broad is the road that leads to death, and thousands walk together there, but wisdom shows the narrow path, with here and there a traveler. Second verse. Deny thyself and take thy cross is the Redeemer's great command. Nature must count her gold cross if she would gain this heavenly land. I have a friend in Colorado who leads singing groups in Denver, and she said that she read a book once that said, well, just sort of a self-help book that said you should spend maybe 5 minutes every week thinking about death. And if you go to a Sacred Harp singing, that usually does you for about a month. There is an emphasis on the nearness of death and the coming of the hereafter in a lot of the songs in the Sacred Harp. And you have to remember that this is written in the late 1700s when disease and war. People were dying off a lot faster. It was a lot closer than maybe it appears to us now.
They had no freeways.
They had no
Freeways.
no. Well, yeah, death is on the freeway too. All right. There's a movie you may have seen a few years ago. Came out called Cold Mountain. All right, and part of it was in fact filmed here in Charleston. And some of the music in Cold Mountain is Sacred Harp music. In particular, the siege of Petersburg, which is broken at the beginning of the film, when they blow up those walls around Petersburg, Virginia. The music you hear in the background is from the Sacred Harp, and it's a particular song I'd like us to look at now called Idumea, or Idumea. I've heard various pronunciations. It's on page 47 at the bottom. Now, the names of this song, of course, Charles Wesley is probably the #2 source for words for Sacred Harp songs in this book. And the composer, Ananias Davison, was also the publisher of a tune book called the Kentucky Harmony, which appeared in what was then the frontier of the United States, Kentucky, Tennessee, Ohio, in the early 1800s. And many of the tunes that start coming into the sort of shape note literature then are basically based on folk tunes. We'll see that a little bit later on when we look at Wondrous Love. This, I think you can sort of see there's a folky lilt to it, the melody here. And again, we're in a minor key. I don't know if we're going to use the same pitching or not. What do you think?
Sola
Alright, again, let's start by all singing that third line down, and this is going to be in again a 3 beat to the bar time, 3 half notes to the bar. But we'll start on the upbeat with a la like that. Okay? La la sol la fa sol la la. we're just going to try singing all 4 parts and shapes. We'll start to give us our starting notes. Everybody is on La except for the trebles. So the first note for the tenors is La. The bass says La. The alto says La. The treble is Fa. So we're going to try this, sing all 4 parts and shapes. We'll see what happens. Let's try if we can to sing all 4 verses. It's a wonderful tune.
Repeat the chorus in the 4th one.
Yeah, let's repeat that chorus in the last verse, in the 4th verse. It's a very traditional thing to do. Repeat it on the last verse. And am I born to die, to lay this body down, and must my trembling spirit fly into So let's take a break, 5 or 10 minutes. There's some water at the back here. If you haven't signed up to see if give me your contact information if you're interested in seeing more of this kind of music, please do. There's a little yellow pad in the back room, and we'll reconvene in a few minutes.
And I'd like to make an official announcement that all programs brought to you in the Charleston County Public Library are free and are brought to you courtesy of the Friends of the Library to provide the funding to make the equipment and performers and all sorts of things possible. So a big thank you to the Friends of the Library for letting us.
Here's love. Let's try singing all 4 parts together. like we did with Idumea. La. And the first note for the alto is la. Starting with verse 2. When I was sinking down, sinking down, sinking down. When I was sinking down, sinking down. When I was sinking down beneath God's righteous crown, Christ laid aside his crown for my soul, for my soul. Christ laid aside his crown for my soul. To God and to the Lamb I will sing, I will sing. To God and to the Lamb I will sing. To God and to the Lamb, who is the great I am. While millions join the theme, I will sing, I will sing. While millions join the theme, I will sing. And when from death I'm free, I'll sing on, I'll sing on. And when from death I'm free, I'll sing on. And when from death I'm free, I'll sing and joyful be throughout eternity. I'll sing on, I'll sing on. Throughout eternity, I'll sing on. By the way, there are more verses to this, just not printed in this book. There's a wonderful one about ye winged seraphs flying like angels across the sky. You could hear that on an album called American Angels, recorded by the Anonymous Four. Lovely, lovely CD, but a bit sort of cleaned up interpretation, and rather sort of formal parlor interpretation of some of these songs. Well, at the other end, extreme, I don't know if you're aware, there's a program on the radio called the South Carolina A to Z with South Carolina historian telling you about little bits of South Carolina history. But one of the prominent people in the history of the Sacred Heart was someone named William Walker, who was a native of Spartanburg, South Carolina, and put together a tune book, which is the immediate predecessor of this book, called The Southern Harmony, published about 1840. And one of the tunes by William Walker, which I like to direct your attention to, is called Hallelujah, and its number is 146. On the web, there's a wonderful site called fasola.org where you can find all kinds of information, more than you really ever want to know, about Sacred Harp singing, history, and what's going on across the country. And there are statistics listing what are the most popular songs sung at singings of the last 10 years in the U.S., and this is it. Hallelujah is the #1 song. So this is, if we're looking at the top of the pops, this is at the top of the pops. This has a little bit of a different timing to it. Again, it's 2 big beats to the bar, but each beat has 3 pieces to it. So it's lun dun dun da lun dun da. I'll still beat it like 1, 2, but there's actually 3 beats within each of those beats. Something else about this song, you'll see a bunch of repeat signs, and in the top system here, there's 2 sets of words beneath those, and so you have to repeat that first 4 bars. And something to watch for when you get to that first repeat sign, sort of 2/3 way across that top line, you immediately jump back to that starting note. So in the middle of the bar, you leap back to the beginning and pick up with that to sing the second line of words when you do the words. And we'll do that same thing when we just sing the notes. The chorus, which is the rest of the tune, well, you don't have to repeat that every time. We will repeat that in the last verse we sing when we're singing the words. Let's see, anything else unusual about this? I can't think of anything. So, shall we have a pitch?
So far, so.
Everybody's in so except them. So. By the way, let's again do the melody once through, just so we all know what the tune is supposed to be. Okay, so we'll start with just singing the 3rd line. Okay.
So fa fa so la fa so la so fa la fa 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 so la so fa fa so la fa so la so fa la fa 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 so la so fa la so fa so la so fa so fa la fa la so. So la fa fa so la fa so la so fa la fa 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 so la so.
And by the way, if we were going to repeat that chorus, we would have leaped back in the second half of that bar to the la, etc. Okay. So let's now try singing all 4 parts, right, from the beginning. And again, we're going to repeat that first line to go with the repeat on the words. Okay. So again, our first note for most of us is so. Sing the first and last verse, and in the last verse repeat that chorus section. Okay.
And let this feeble body fail, and let it break or die. My soul shall quit this mortal veil, and soar to worlds on high. And I'll sing hallelujah. And we'll all sing
No, yeah, we got the switching of parts. One interesting story about William Walker. He had a partner in his venture to write the Southern Harmony named E.J. King, and Walker and E.J. King compiled this tune book, and then Walker was deputized to go up to Philadelphia and get it printed. And as it happened, somehow E.J. his partner's name got left off the cover of the Southern Harmony. And E.J. King didn't take kindly to this. I mean, they were really closely related. By the way, they were married to two sisters, E.J. King and William Walker. And so E.J. King was disgruntled and went off to Georgia, moved to another state, and he compiled the Sacred Harp you see here. So this came out of a disagreement between Mr. King and Mr. Walker. By the way, William Walker, for the rest of his life, or for many years afterwards, signed his name William Walker, A.S.H., as an author of the Southern Harmony. And in the 1860s, he compiled another tune book called the Christian Harmony, which is a lot more sweeter, more up-to-date tunes in that one. Okay, let's now one current that runs through the Sacred Harp is a certain kind of tune called a fuguing tune. And now, if you listen to classical music like Bach, you know, fugue is some kind of piece where one part comes in, plays a little bit, then another part comes in over it and plays something that's sort of the same, but kind of imitative, maybe alphabet. Well, we don't do anything that complicated. What fuguing means in this book is that one section comes in and sings a couple notes, and then one bar later, another section comes in and sings the same words, maybe up an octave, and we go in, we come in one after the other, like you would in a round. And so we sing a few notes, and then after a few bars, we're all together singing the same words, and then usually then we finish out the tune that way. So one of the earliest fuguing tunes in this book is one called Lennox on page 40. Many of the tune names, by the way, of the older tunes are named after places in New England. I guess Lennox is in Massachusetts. So Lennox here, the structure is kind of typical of fuguing tunes. We've got a first part where we all sing together. We'll sing the same words at the same time for the whole top half of this tune. And then in the second half, the first thing that happens is the basses come in a few notes. Then a bar later, the tenors come in with a few notes. And then the trebles come in with a few more notes. And then the altos come in. And then we're all singing together, and then we finish out the tune. And just to make sure we get it right, it's often the case that we repeat the fuguing section. So as soon as we're finished that bar with Return Ye Ransom Sinners Home, then, hey, everybody's got to be quiet, but the basses are going to come in again and sing the notes again with and so on. So let's try this just with the shapes, though, at first. All right. That's everybody's first note except for the altos are on la. Okay, we're all going to sing our each individual parts here, we're singing the notes. Again, make sure we got the fuguing section coming in right. Yeah, let's do that. Do that again. Okay. We'll start from the top.
So
let's sing the words now, and we'll repeat the fuguing section only on the last verse. So let's sing all 3 verses. Blow ye the trumpet, blow.
Blow ye the trumpet, blow a loudly solemn sound. Let all the nations know to earth's remotest bound. The year of Jubilee, year of Jubilee, year of Jubilee, year of Jubilee, and some sinners home. Extol the Lamb of God, the all-atoning Lamb. Redemption through His blood, throughout the world proclaim. The year of Jubilee, year of Jubilee, year of Jubilee, year of Jubilee, and some sinners home. The gospel trumpet give the news of heavenly grace, and say from earth appear before your Savior's face. The year of Jubilee, year of Jubilee, year of Jubilee, year of Jubilee, and some sinners home. The year of Jubilee, year of Jubilee, year of Jubilee, year of Jubilee, and some sinners home.
Thank you. That's great.
One more round we'd have had.
Well, let's turn to probably the second most popular fuguing tune in the book, which is on page 155, Northfield. Come on in and grab a book and follow along.
I sit one in the row.
Okay.
Then go away.
Just call me when you actually ask.
Okay.
On page 155, a tune called Northfield. Yeah, same key. Yeah. Sorry about that. All right. Should we do shapes again?
Sure.
Just to get this one down pat.
Fa sol fa sol sol fa fa sol sol fa fa sol fa sol sol fa la la fa sol 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 fa 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 sol 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 fa sol sol la la fa sol fa sol fa la la fa sol 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 la fa 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 sol 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 fa sol sol la.
All right, let's now sing both verses and repeat the fuguing section on the second verse.
How long, dear Savior, oh, how long shall this bright hour delay? Fly swift around, fly swift around, fly swift around, fly swift around, and bring the promised day. From the third heaven where God resides, that holy happy place, the New Jerusalem,
older fuguing tunes in the book. I don't want to give the impression that this book has been set in stone since 1840 or so. It's very much a living tradition, and in doing the 1991 edition, the editors decided to include a lot of compositions from prominent singers in the Sacred Harp tradition from the 20th century. And so in our last few songs, I'd like to show you a few. They're really remarkable tunes written by singers in Georgia and Alabama primarily. And one of these is 480. This is a tune by Mr. John T. Hocott, who I believe passed away about 3 years ago, at the age of 80 or so. Written in the 1950s. He wrote both the words and the music. This is not a fuguing tune, but it has kind of a neat chorus section where, for the first few bars, only the altos and the basses come in on that section with "Oh, His blood shed that we might live," and that we all chorus in with Him when life is o'er. Or what? Let's see, is there anything else to bookmark on this? It's actually a pretty simple song. It makes it good to learn and popular to sing.
Fa, sol, la, fa, sol, la. Sol, la, sol, la, fa, sol, fa, sol, la, sol, sol, la, la, sol, la, sol, la, sol.
Again on that, make sure we get the tune under our belts now there.
Let's raise the
okay, good.
Fa, la, la, sol, la, sol, la, fa, sol, la, fa, sol, la, fa, la, fa, sol, fa, la, la, sol, sol, la, la, sol, la, sol, la, fa.
Both verses and repeat on the second verse. And let's try to sing it just a... Lots of interesting accompaniment there. Let's try to sing it just a tad more up tempo. Something maybe more like la sol, la sol, la sol, la sol, la fa.
There upon the cross of Calvary, our blessed Savior died. There the peace, our blessed Lord for us was crucified. Oh, His blood was shed that we might live with Him when life is o'er, and upon the clouds of glory rise, safe to that peaceful shore. Oh, He suffered there for guilty man, His life so freely gave. When He paid the debt we could not pay, and triumphed o'er the grave. Oh, His blood was shed that we might live with Him when life is
the sacred harp tradition, by the time the 1960s and 70s rolled around, was in a bit of trouble. A lot of the old singers were dying off, and the young people weren't singing it. But it kind of, through things like the field recordings of Alan Lomax and other sources, things started leaking out into people at universities in the North and the West, and back in New England too. And they became interested in learning this music. And one of the first places in the North was Chicago. And I'd like to turn next to a song by a Chicago composer named Judy Houff. It's on page 547. And it's called Granville. Again, we're looking at words by Isaac Watts, that all-time hit parade hymn writer. Granville, I believe, was a street that she lived on in Chicago at some point. This song is in, this is a bit of a break from those fuguing and other sort of tricky things to follow along. This is a straight, we all sing at the same time kind of song. It's in 3/2 time, 3 beats to the bar. Let's see. Well, let's sing. Let's all sing the melody of the third line just to get the tune fixed in our heads. That's the first note for the. Let's all sing the third line. La sol, la sol, sol la sol fa la, fa sol la sol fa la sol, sol la sol la fa sol fa sol la fa. All four parts together. All right. Let's see. That's the first note for the tenors. That's the first note for you guys, and for you guys as well. La sol, la sol, sol la sol fa sol, fa la sol fa sol. Let's do shapes again. Some of those other parts are tricky. Yeah, they are. All right. La sol, la sol, sol la sol fa sol, fa sol la sol, sol la sol la sol. Okay, let's just the open part.
Just a wee bit higher.
I think we tenor still have some. So we're going to just do the alto part. La, fa,
fa, mi. La, mi, fa, mi, la, sol, la, fa, mi. Mi, fa, la, sol. La, sol, la, mi, fa, la, mi, fa. Mi, la, mi, la, sol, la, mi, sol, la.
All right. Would you guys like bass? Would you like to do the bass part?
Can we?
Yeah, let's do it. Okay.
This is a weird song because it's incredibly high.
Yeah, I guess Judy doesn't pull any punches. All right. Well, let's try all four parts together. Okay. Again, like we had before. Let's now try the words, and we'll repeat on the second verse.
Remember, Lord, our mortal state, how frail our lives, how short the day, where is the man that draws his breath, safe from disease, secure from death? Lord, while we see whole nations die, our flesh and sense repine and cry, must death forever rage and reign? Or hast thou made mankind in vain? Must death forever rage and reign? Or hast thou made mankind in vain?
Thank you so much. That's one of the trickiest songs we've attempted this afternoon. Well, there's another living Sacred Heart composer I'd like to basically finish up by introducing you to. His name is Raymond Hamrick, and he is about 93 years old. He is a retired watchmaker and lives in Macon, Georgia. And there's a couple really nice tunes of his that are in this book. One of them is on page 503. The story was that Mr. Hamrick had a dream where he had gone to heaven and he heard this wonderful music in heaven, and we woke up, he tried to write down what he had heard. It was this tune, what he wrote down after he woke up. It's named after a friend of him named Lloyd, but also the author of Lloyd's Primitive Hymns. So Lloyd does double duty as title. And I think one of the great beauties of Mr. Hamrick's music is that it is simple and very effective, as this song I think exemplifies.
Fa, sol, la, fa, sol, la.
Let's all sing our own parts, okay?
Sol, la, sol, fa, sol, sol, fa, sol, la, sol, la, my Savior and my King, thy beauties are divine, thy lips with blessing overflow, and every grace is thine. The smilings of my face, how amiable they are, 'tis heaven to rest in thine embrace, and nowhere else but there. Nor earth, nor all the sky can one delight afford, no, not a drop of thy real joy, without thy presence, Lord.
Isn't this like dessert after our vegetables ramble? By the way, if you go on YouTube or Google Video and you search for Raymond Hamrick, you can find a video of him leading. Recently, about 60 of his unpublished songs have been published now in Georgia, and there's a video of him leading several of his until now unpublished tunes at a home of a Sacred Harp singer. And I can't help singing one more by Mr. Hamrick, and that's on page 347. And, I guess, given the title, I guess this would be our last song. It's called Christian's Farewell. Mr. Hamrick says that when he was a child in the 1920s, he wasn't interested in this kind of music, but he came back after being in the Navy in World War II and suddenly got really interested in it. He tried to find where did this music come from. And gradually, over the past 60 years, he's contributed his own wonderful pieces to the repertoire. Okay, and this is also in 3/4 time. Pitch.
Ah.